Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at Wolverine number 9 by Peter David and Gene Colan. So cool. Cannot wait to share it with you. I love Gene Colan's art. This is like a dark, grim, and gritty revenge tale, expertly told by Peter David and Gene Colan, featuring everyone's favorite mutant Wolverine. Cannot wait to share it with you guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. I absolutely love Gene Colan's art. I feel like I've never read like a consistent run by him. I know he was on Daredevil in the past, but that was like before my time. So I've had him like sporadically. It feels like he did a lot of fill-in issues here and there during my heyday of comics. So I love this issue of Wolverine. It's penciled and inked by him. This very much smacks of like a fill-in issue because this is Wolverine's first regular series. It's issue 9. Chris Claremont initially wrote the series. I think his last issue would be issue 10. And this is written by Peter David. So I'm thinking this is a fill-in issue. We're still full patch mode. But this is this is like I feel like Gene Colan does such dark like horror stories so well. I mean, obviously Tomb of Dracula, and he has such an interesting scratchy style, very sketchy. It's very cool that he's inking himself, because I think that when paired with the right inker he can be magical, but he is actually probably one of the hardest pencilers to ink, because his whole concept was to try to create fluidity on the page, because he was in love with like film and animation and stuff like that, and he really wanted to bring that to the comic book page. So a lot of artists, and especially when he moved from Marvel to DC, a lot of inkers had problems like trying to figure out how to ink him. He did a lot of the work, like the shading with the edge of your pencil, and how does that translate into ink, right? Well, I guess this is how, if you're Gene Colan inking yourself, and it's some gorgeous work. This is like the movie Deliverance. Like, these ne'er-do-wells are like checking into this hotel, and like come to find out, you hear the snicked and you know they're in trouble. They're up to no good, but they're being stalked by Wolverine because of an incident involving in Iraq, like from 5 years ago. Promises to keep. I mean, on one hand, it's super cool, but on the other hand, it's kind of super contrived in a lot of ways, as you will see. Written by Peter David, art by Gene Colan, letters by Bill Oakley, colors by Mark Chiarello. That's very cool. Mark is such an accomplished, talented artist. He would go on to be the art director at DC Comics. Edited by Bob Harris and editor-in-chief Tom DeFalco. So this is a post-shooter joint, y'all. Great silhouette. Love that there. This is actually, it's like such a great story too, because it's one of those stories where it's very like moody. So it's very cool that we have Gene Colan here, because he is like the master of mood. Like, he is not beholden to panel borders, and just his storytelling is crazy good. And Mark Chiarello really brought it with the colors. The colors are so good and effective on this. And you basically have Wolverine sort of like stalking these people and like taking care of them, like almost off panel through the whole time. So it has that sort of like level of tension that, Jaws brings by not showing the shark on screen until, unless absolutely necessary. Like, it's out there, it's antagonizing you, it's going to get you. And then they recant the tale. They were holding these prisoners, and this one like had a thing for this nun, and like basically like psychologically and I think physically tortured her, reference to that. So was part of the Weapon X program, and working at the embassy or some bullshit or something, and was there, and wasn't able to take care of the problem at the time. But on the 5th-year anniversary of this, he's going back to exact revenge for this nun. And this is so dope here. Like, Wolverine's underwater, and like his hand pops up and then snicked. And I love the color choice to like go from pink to red. Like, so cool. Like, just to display that. And obviously someone like Mark Chiarello knows that color is such an effective way to tell, and there's my Jaws effect right there, the blood in the water, to tell a story. Is this low-key like Peter David telling a Jaws story and using Wolverine as like an avatar? Like, or perhaps I'm reading too much into it, but hey, it's my world, and if that's what I want to think, more power to it. And of course, as usual, the baddies always turn on each other. I love it. Human nature. After all this time, and it's still so predictable. And then, just when you didn't think you were gonna get it, especially since we're still in the patch phase here, but this is a flashback story. Great waterfall, by the way. I mean, of course, Gene Colan would draw one of the most epic, like, bird's eye views of a waterfall in a forest ever. We get Wolverine in the blue and yellow costume, like, just out of the blue like that. Like, how crazy good is that? I love this whole page. It is amazing. Um, Not yet, you'd say, and then you'd use her. When I found her, she was dying, caught a bullet in the crossfire, one civilian casualty, with the military calls acceptable losses. But the reason he did it is not, it's because he killed her faith, is what the problem was. And then 5 years later, like, I love that it took 5 years. See, that seems like whatever. And then, spoilers, he's like, wait a second, you can't kill me. It's not midnight yet. The fifth anniversary isn't until tomorrow. But never once was it like, he was sort of like, okay, so, oh, since it's the fifth anniversary, it kind of reminded me. He wasn't like, if there's nothing I'll do on the fifth anniversary, I will hunt you down and I will kill you and I will do it exactly at the stroke of midnight and blah, 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 blah. So the bad guy's like, oh, dude, like, it's not midnight. It's still the 4-year and 364th day anniversary, so up your butt, Canadian. And then he's like, in Iraq, it's tomorrow, snicked. And that is actually kind of dope, right? Like, how cool. And then, of course, he's like, oh, no, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of killing me. I'm going to shoot myself and fall in the thing. And Wolverine's probably like, I don't give her crap. Like, as long as your dad's scumbag. And then we cut back, and then I love this, too. The, like, is this, like, the Ellen Moore, like, Watchmen, like, sort of panel transition here. We go from Wolverine walking away to coming out of Patch's eye, his good eye. And he's telling the story to, I guess she's a Madripoorian bar waitress. Come on, does Wolverine really carry around a cross? I don't think so. It was just laying on the bar in Madripoor, I'm sure. Anyway, flashback tale, fill-in issue, Peter David, Gene Colan, serving up some good old Wolverine revenge. A Wolverine gallery pinup. Who is this artist? I have no idea, but I should know him, right? It could be like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure a quick Google search could answer that question, but I don't know. Mazzucchelli vibes. Classic issue, Wolverine #9 by Peter David and frickin' Gene Colan. So dope. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will bring you more later.